Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of Not Your Average Fangirl.
I'm your host, Grace.
And I'm your host, Addison. And in today's episode, we are giving you guys a fangirl's guide to conventions. So basically, we're just giving you guys all of our tips and tricks for a perfect convention weekend. If you're attending, I was feeling festive in the next few weeks. This is a great episode for you to listen to.
This is perfect.
Yeah. So that's why we chose to do this episode right now. And then obviously this goes for any convention, not just I was feeling festive, but specifically if that's the next convention you're attending.
Previously on Not Your Average Fangirl. For TV shows, I have said this for the past few episodes. I'm still watching Supernatural and I'm in my Vampire Diaries kick again. I need to start watching some new shows because my list of shows I want to watch is getting so long, but watching those two still.
I'm still rewatching Grey's Anatomy right now. I'm still watching Gilmore Girls. I have not watched a single episode since last week, I don't think, because again, it's not as annoying as it was. Like, it's not intentional that I haven't watched it since last week. It's just I've been on Grey's Anatomy kick and I'm on like season 3 now. But I need to just push through Gilmore Girls.
Yeah,
just fight.
I agree.
But it's so hard. And then, what's next? Movies.
Have
you watched any movies?
I haven't. I'm slacking. Like, there's so many good movies out right now. I'm gonna go see them. But what movies did you see?
Well, I got yelled at by my mother because last week I watched a movie and then I forgot to say it in the podcast.
Yep.
But so technically last week I watched The Marvels, the new Marvel movie that's out right now with Captain Marvel and all of that, and it was so good. I thoroughly enjoyed it. It was funny. It was like, it made me think of like old Marvel. Like, I feel like we're getting back into it because there were just some like interesting movies for a minute there that just weren't hitting quite right. But this one, like, the humor was spot on, but not like overly funny, and the characters were really great, and I loved it. And there were kittens. There were a bunch of kittens in the movie, so I really liked that. But it was really good. So I watched that.
That's so good. I want to see that.
You should. It's really good. And this week, I just went and saw The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, the new Hunger Games movie.
Yes.
So good. Oh my God. I had like goosebumps the entire movie. Every hair on my arm was standing straight up because like, just like, I almost cried just because feeling like you're back in the Hunger Games after all these years. Like, no movie has made me feel that way in so long. And it was so good. And I read the book when it came out. I didn't think it was like crazy good or anything. Like, I enjoyed it, but it wasn't like a 5-star read or like the Hunger Games. So I wasn't sure what to expect with the movie, but then I saw the trailer and I was like, okay, no, that looks like it's gonna be so good.
Yeah. I need to go see that.
Yes,
like, I haven't watched the Hunger Games, but like, as I was saying, like, the cast looks so good and the soundtrack with Olivia Rodrigo, like, in that one song, that song is so good.
No. I was so upset because the Olivia Rodrigo song actually wasn't in the movie, it was in the credits.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, I was so upset. I wanted that song to play while she was like running through the woods or something. And I was just so distraught when it wasn't. But it was really funny. We were leaving the theater and my mom looked over and some guy had his phone out and he was Shazamming the song to figure out what it was. And I thought that was funny.
That's so funny. That's so real though. Like, it's sometimes you just got to.
Yeah, and technically the Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes is actually a prequel to the Hunger Games. So if you haven't watched the Hunger Games, watch the Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes first and then watch the Hunger Games and then Catching Fire and then the Mockingjay Part 1 and 2. Just a little
will do. Yeah,
little piece of knowledge for you.
For books, have you read anything? I haven't.
I'm still reading Mr. Fixer-Upper from last week, and then I finished the book on my Kindle I was reading, which is like it was like a Beauty and the Beast retelling. I can't remember what it was called all of a sudden, but it was on Kindle Unlimited and it was a Beauty and the Beast retelling. It was really good. And now I'm reading a Cinderella retelling, and I like the character in the Cinderella retelling because she's from the first book. Like, she was like a friend of the of Belle in the first book, and so I was like, okay. So I'm excited to get into that a little more. But yeah, still reading the same.
And what about music?
I actually was just listening to our fall playlist earlier. Still, we need to get on making a Christmas one soon, though.
Yeah, we're gonna make a Christmas one like today.
Yeah, because I'm gonna need to switch over to Christmas music soon because I'm about to put my Christmas tree up.
Same.
Again, pretty much same as last week. No new music has come out, so I feel like I'm just listening to the same things.
Yeah. Well, for me, Drake came out with like a mini album, like his Scary Hours Part 3. I know you don't listen to that, but I've been listening to that album. It's pretty like chill. But yeah, same like fall music. I listen to like a lot of like same like Lana and like Bruno Mars, like the chill songs. I've been so
Didn't
into that.
didn't Sabrina Carpenter put out like a Christmas EP or
I think I
something?
saw her post something about a new song.
Yeah.
It's called
It's
like,
like
is it Fruitcake?
Fruitcake. I think it's like
Yeah.
I think an EP though, not a song. Like, I think there are multiple
Yeah.
songs
I
on it.
wanna
So,
listen to it. Like,
yeah.
I used to listen to her a while ago, and then I
Me too.
stopped, but
No, okay, so we're gonna put that on our list. We're both gonna listen to her Christmas stuff, whatever it is, and we'll update you guys next week on our thoughts.
yes.
And before we get into the main part of this episode, I wanted to let you guys know that there's actually going to be a special guest on today's
Ah!
episode. Very exciting. Our
We're
first
so
special
excited.
guest. Yes. So it's Alexis Arnold, aka the co-owner of Epic Cons. So we're gonna have her on and let her give you guys some of her tips and tricks as someone who is also a fan and also started their own convention company.
Yes.
So I think it'll be super fun,
We're
and she
so
will have
excited for this.
some knowledge to share with you guys and with us. Oh,
Yes.
someone's
So
dog
keep
ran away.
listening to hear her on here.
There's a little white dog running down the street. Someone lost their dog. Oh, wait. Okay. It went back into a house. Why was it just running down the street by itself?
I don't know. Okay, so the first thing we want to get into is I feel like this is a really important thing. It's what to wear. So a lot of people are going on vacation and like to these conventions, and I feel like it's essential to look cute. So for me personally, I like to plan out all my outfits and like get like cute clothes, like clothes I don't usually have. So I
Yes.
would take time like getting those clothes so you can look cute for the celebrities. Like you want to look cute in the pictures, and then or you can wear like merchandise. I see so many people wearing like for example, like for the TVD convention, I see so many people wearing Vampire Diaries merch, so I feel like that's also good to bring.
Yeah. And obviously you'll want to like plan it in advance, like you said, so that if there's like a specific piece
Yes.
you want to order, like you want a new top or you want to order like a merch piece off Etsy or something, think about it in advance, especially if you're like traveling. And then also very important, check the weather because
For
like
sure.
sometimes and plan your outfits around that. And then also always bring a cute jacket or a cute sweater or like flannel or something that matches your outfit because when you go inside the venues, sometimes it's very cold. Like,
Yeah.
especially if it's in like a hotel, it's gonna be chilly inside the hotel. So plan to bring a sweater or something cute to match your outfit.
Also, if you're like traveling to these conventions, I feel like it's kind of okay to overpack because, like, let's say the weather does change out of nowhere, like, you'll be prepared with, like, as Addi was saying,
Yeah.
like a sweater or like pants or a skirt. So, like, when I'm going to this convention next week, like, it says it's going to be like 60s, but I'm still going to bring like sweatshirts and like skirts and jeans. Like, even though I have my
Yeah.
outfits planned, I like to have extra.
Yeah, and layers are really good because if it's a
Yeah,
little bit warmer than expected, you can just take off a layer. So that's
exactly.
also okay. So next, what to bring? Obviously, you're gonna need like a bag of some kind. I know for I was feeling festive, it's clear bags, so make sure to always check and see what kind of bag like you're gonna need. But
Mhm.
something to carry all of this stuff that we're about to say in.
Yeah, there's a lot.
First off, convention days are usually pretty long, and I don't know about you guys, but I'm a snacker. I need them with me at all times. So a
Yes.
granola bar or some kind of like little like maybe a little bag of chips or something like that that throughout the day you can snack on if like let's say if you're someone that has like a bunch of photo ops or something, if your schedule's really packed, you may not have time to stop for lunch, or if you're just chilling at a panel and you want to snack, my personal favorite is a granola bar or like granola bites.
Yeah, and to add to that, like sometimes it's hard to find food at the conventions, like whether you're super busy or there like aren't a lot of food options. It's always good to like keep stuff on you that you know you have and you could just grab whenever because
Yeah.
I feel like during convention days, you tend to forget like to eat. And I've heard so many
Yes.
people say that like you're just so excited and there's so much going on around you that you're like you're not thinking of food or anything, I
Yeah.
feel like. At least
And like
I'm not.
yeah, and, like, especially if, like, you're really stressed or nervous, like, sometimes I can't eat a whole meal, so a granola bar is easier because, like, getting myself to take a few bites of a granola bar is much easier than
Yeah.
eating, like, a whole sandwich. Because if, like, I'm nervous or
Yeah.
stressed or anxious, like
I feel like a little something is better than nothing at all. So
yes, yeah,
it's
definitely.
good to have snacks.
And then I mentioned this last episode, I think, in the Supernatural one, but this is, like, my personal essential, like, I cannot go to a convention without this.
Same.
It's a little bag of makeup. Like I use like an old Ipsy bag that I have, and I put like essential makeup. I have a beauty blender, a concealer, and then like a blush and a powder because I cry. There is not a single convention where I don't cry at least once, and I need to touch up my makeup after because I usually have more than one photo op, and I just having makeup on hand is a lifesaver. And just trust me on that, you'll want
It's
it.
so much like it's so good to have because like let's say you do cry, like you can just pull out your powder and
Yeah,
touch up your whatever, like whatever the tears took off. It's always good to have makeup. So, if you're someone who wears makeup, I we definitely suggest
yeah,
bringing even a tiny bag, even if it's like a powder and a mascara, like
yeah,
it's good to have on hand. Also, if you check the weather before and it says it's going to be hot at the convention, I would also like bring a powder because if you get like kind of sweaty, you can just touch that up. So it's good to keep
yeah.
that on hand.
And like same thing with crying, wear waterproof mascara. This isn't like technically what
Yeah.
to bring, but wear waterproof mascara because if you cry, you'll have way less makeup to touch up if you don't have mascara all over your face.
And then another thing you'd probably want to bring is a hairbrush. Again, if it's hot, I feel like this really only applies for when it's hot. You could just brush your hair, like get it all down and nice and smooth. Or if you're like, even if it's not hot out and you're just, you're going to be out the whole day, just brush through your hair. Like you'll have the brush, you'll have the makeup.
Yeah. As someone who has like curtain bangs, I always have a brush on hand because like before a photo op, I'll just brush my hair back so that my curtain bangs are like positioned properly. Because if you have curtain bangs, you know that they fall and they look funky if they're not like pushed back properly. So I always have a brush on hand as well.
Also, with these long convention days, I feel like during like if you have breaks, like you're going to be on your phone and you're going to be taking videos of the panels and like if you see the celebrities. So I highly recommend you bring a portable charger because it can be very hard to find an outlet. Like if you're at a convention that's not at a hotel, you can't always guarantee that there's going to be an outlet. So definitely bring maybe definitely bring one, maybe two portable
Yeah.
chargers. It's just good to have for your
Yeah,
phone.
because on a convention day, like you said, like you're taking videos, you're taking pictures. I FaceTime my friends and stuff. Like
Yep.
my phone is usually dead by noon. Okay, like it's
Oh,
yeah, your phone battery will not last very long, especially like we said when it's hot outside. Like your phone is gonna die even quicker. So
oh,
bring a
yeah.
portable charger. And then also, so some conventions, you only get physical copies of your pictures, and then you have to like order or request the like JPEGs, like the digital copies. So they basically hand you like this big flat picture, and you don't want it to get bent or anything. So sometimes they'll give you like a little like thing to put it in, but I recommend bringing like a folder or even like a small binder because you can organize like your tickets and stuff, and you can also keep your photo ops safe so that they won't get bent up by like
Yes.
being in your bag, or if you're carrying them around, you set them down somewhere. Like they'll just be much safer in a folder or binder. So I definitely recommend that.
All right, the next thing we want to touch on is schedules, and this is a big thing that ties into the whole convention day. You want to know like where you need to be and when. So like if you're someone who has a bunch of photo ops, like I think it's good to make your own schedule. That way like you'll know when you can have time to like relax, like charge your phone, get some food. So definitely plan a schedule out like even if it's the day before, just make a schedule for yourself so you know when you'll have downtime and then when your like purchase photo ops and autos are.
Yeah, because then in that downtime, you can go and you can view the panels, and like you
Oh
said,
yeah,
like you can get a
panels.
snack and stuff. So definitely know where you need to be and when. And then
Mm-hmm.
for as far as like figuring that out, I recommend you can either like print out the schedule from the convention, and if it has like not just your things but everything on it that's happening in the weekend, take a highlighter and just highlight all the stuff that you have so you know like which stuff is yours and when it is. And then also you could make like a note in your phone and make like a checklist and just write down the time and what each thing is, and then as you do those things you can check them off. Another great way to do it. And I've heard of people taking the screenshots of the schedule and putting it as their lock screen on their phone so that they
Oh,
just have
that's
to
smart.
click the screen and they can see what the schedule is looking like. So I recommend doing that as well.
Yeah, and then that way it's I actually didn't think about that. People do that for school too. So if you're
Yeah.
someone who goes on your phone a lot and you don't want to have a physical copy, then that's also a great way.
And then also, so I know this from going to creation conventions, but a lot of conventions have apps. And so you can like go on the app and pick out which things are yours. And it's really easy way to keep track. Definitely always check and see if there is one before you go through the trouble of making a note in your phone or something.
The last point that I want to bring up is to prioritize the things you've bought. I've seen people post about this, that people will get caught up in panels and miss their photo ops and like autos and or meet and greets. So prioritize what you bought because panels will be running mostly the entire day at the convention. So if you do want to watch panels, like you'll
There'll be
probably
plenty of
have
time.
downtime. Yeah. So
Yeah,
prioritize all of the things you bought
definitely. 100% on that one.
because panels are mostly included in your admission pass, so it doesn't cost anything to go to the panels.
Yeah, and like you don't want to like miss something that's like the last one. Like let's say you
Mm-hmm.
have a photo op with one person and it's their last photo op slot of the weekend, like you don't want that to happen.
Yeah,
So make
don't
sure you're
miss
on top
that.
of the specific things that you purchased.
Okay, next we have a big part of conventions is photo ops. I feel like this is the biggest thing at conventions that people tend to go for. And as it goes for poses, we suggest that you pick out your poses beforehand so you know what you
Yeah.
want to do. You're not in line like stressing about, oh my gosh, like how am I going to pose? Like, do I want to do a pose? And literally, you could just do a side hug. You can hug them, you could throw up a sign. Like I feel like that's very common, like peace sign,
Yeah.
or you could do like a more advanced pose if you want.
Yeah, and then you also want to think about like if you're doing something a little more like with a little more thought behind it, you'll want to figure out how to describe that to the actor. Like say like, "Oh, I want you to do this and I'm going to do this in a way that makes sense and is really easy for them to understand." So like cuz it's kind of quick, so you want to be able to get your point
It
across
is.
quickly and get the photo op that you want. But also, my mom came up with this idea before I did the Supernatural convention. If you have like an inspo picture, print it out in like pretty small,
Yeah,
obviously, and put it in your pocket because you're not allowed to get out your phone because they don't want to risk anyone taking pictures of them. So if you print it out, then you can just pull it out of your pocket and say, "This is the pose I want." They can take a quick glance at it and then you can do the pose. So I think that that's a great idea.
exactly.
And then, like you said, like you can obviously do like a peace sign or something simple like that. But also, I would say, like, if you follow someone on Instagram that goes to a lot of conventions, look at their account, look at their poses. You can take inspo from that.
Yeah,
Or you can go on Pinterest. I actually had never thought about this before the Supernatural Con, but if you go on Pinterest and search up convention pose ideas, a bunch of pictures come up with like really
there's
cute
so
poses.
many.
There's
Yeah.
so many. I don't know why I never thought to look there before, but you can find so many cute poses on Pinterest. So,
Exactly. I find a lot, like, even as you were saying, like on Instagram or TikTok, like, I'll just look up conventions and I'll just see, like, I'll get such inspiration from, like, people's photos and I'm being like, oh, like, I want to do this. At these conventions, there's also some actors that don't want poses. So whoever's working in that line will let you know ahead of time and then you'll just go in for the, like, simple side hug.
so next up after photo ops is autographs. And as far as autographs go, I feel like the first thing when you talk about is what to get signed. And so I personally like to get things that like I can use on a daily basis. So you guys have probably seen like the autograph boards and stuff like that. I think is really cute because it can be used as room decor or like house decor if you're an adult.
Mm-hmm.
And then also like, you know, like posters, like cute posters that can go in your room, also super cute.
Yes.
But I personally, my favorite thing to get signed is tote bags because you can get cute tote bags that relate to the show. Like the ones I got signed at Supernatural, I had like a drawing of Castiel and I had Misha sign that bag. And I just think like stuff like that is like so cute. Definitely tote bags because even if they're not something that you use every day because they're signed by a celebrity, when you're not using them, they can hang on your wall. And then when you do get them out and wear them, you know, it's like super cute. It's kind of like a flex. And then other than that, I would say just like fun props that relate to the show. Like, for example, for Vampire Diaries, like getting like a wooden stake and having a vampire sign it. I just think that
Yes.
that's so cute.
I want to agree with the tote bag thing because I see so many people with signed tote bags and like I feel like you can have that forever. And then I've also seen a lot of people get their ticket signed. So I feel like at a good amount of conventions you get like a physical copy of the
Yeah.
ticket. So if you get those, I feel like those are so good to get signed because then you can hang them up or like put them in a
If you're making like
collection.
if you're making like a shadow box or like a scrapbook for the
Yeah.
convention, like that's a really cute place to put it for sure.
Yeah, and the tickets always look so cute. So that's another option. Also, if you're getting like a picture taken with someone and then you have an autograph with them later, that's also just a good thing to get signed. You can hang that up, you can prop it up We also wanted to add that if you're not doing like a meet and greet where you get like one-on-one time to like talk to the actor, a good time to like ask them a question or something is during autographs. During autographs, you have like a little more time than photo ops to
Yeah.
ask them a question. So if you have something really important or just something you want to ask them, save it for autographs.
And so, speaking of talking to the actors and meet and greets, we got to do a little section on meet and greets. So, the biggest tip that I have for meet and greets, and I see this happen all the time, people go into meet and greets and they have not thought about what they want to say to the actor. And so they just sit there in silence. And then it's like, I always feel like afterwards you're going to be like, oh my God, like I should have said more. And obviously, the actors are really good at kind of like bringing up conversation because they're used to people being kind of starstruck and not knowing what to say. But
Yeah.
my biggest piece of advice if you have a meet and greet is think about what you want to say beforehand. Come up with all the questions you want to ask because trust me, you will have time to say everything you want to say. Because like I
Oh,
said,
for sure.
most people get starstruck. So if you have something you want to say, you will have plenty of time to say it. I promise.
Yes. So a lot of conventions also have other events that like don't really tie into like the day part of the convention. um, so you want to check if they have like evening events. And these can be such a like a good and fun way to like fill your evening. So if you're at the convention the whole day and like you're like I still want to do something, go to an evening event because like if they have them, they're super fun and they fill up time and they're a blast.
It's also a great way to get a little extra time with one of the stars, even if like you can't talk
Yeah.
to them, just looking at them like
Just being in the
um
same area as them.
yeah, a lot of conventions do like little concerts or karaoke nights. Like Grace said, they're super fun. They're a great way to fill your evening. I've been to a few and they're really enjoyable and you get some extra time with one of the stars. So, highly recommend checking that
Yes.
out.
Definitely go to one if they have one.
Okay, so that is pretty much all me and Grace have, all of our favorite tips and tricks that you guys need to know. But
Yes.
now we're going to have our guest host for the day on. So, quickly, I just want to talk about, and I know Grace does too, how much we love Epic Cons and how
We
amazing they
love
are.
Epicon so much.
They're amazing. The entire Epic team is just like phenomenal, and we love them so much. And
They're
the
great.
conventions are so great, and they're just like they're so much fun. And there's a lot of stuff I want to say, but I know Alexis is going to want to talk about at the
Yeah.
end, so I'm not going to say too much. But we're very excited to have her on and let her tell you guys some of her tips and tricks.
That wraps up all of our tips and tricks, and we'll be right back with Alexis.
Yay! Hey guys, so we're back, and now we have our guest with us, Alexis.
Hi, thanks for having me on.
Of course. Thanks
So
for
we're
coming on.
yes, we're very excited to have you. I thought it was like the perfect first guest for us to have because technically without you and the rest of the Epic team, we wouldn't have ever met.
Oh
So
my
Yeah.
this podcast wouldn't exist technically.
Literally, it's because of you and the Epic team. So thank you.
I
Thank you.
love that so much. That's like the best thing about
Yes.
conventions is you get to meet people that you share these common interests with that you normally wouldn't get to know. So
Yeah,
Yes.
you make so many
so
lifelong
great.
friends for sure.
Yes.
Forever.
So the main reason we wanted to have you on this episode is obviously you're the co-owner of Epic Cons, but we wanted to hear some of your tips and tricks for fangirls attending their first conventions as someone who used just to attend the conventions and now runs them.
Yeah, so I would say that the number one thing is, I mean, kind of like you guys already said, you made lifelong friends this way. Talk to
Yes.
people. I mean, you're going
Yeah.
to be standing in line a lot over the course of the weekend. So just talk to the people that are in line around you. I mean, it's so funny because Sydney and Jess, like, until they started going to cons, they didn't know each other and they literally worked at the same mall. Had
Really? Oh
yeah.
my gosh, that's
So
so funny.
I mean, if you didn't talk to people that you didn't know at cons, you wouldn't have those friends. So definitely plan on talking to others, kind of plan on coming out of your shell a little bit. Everybody's there because they love the Vampire Diaries, they love the originals, they love legacies. So everybody has a common interest.
Yeah, it definitely
Exactly.
adds to the experience when you're more open and you try and make some friends. I think it helps
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
And that's what I was going to say. Like, everyone's there for the same reason. So I feel like that just makes it 10 times easier to like make friends and talk to people. Cause I know there's like people going by themselves. Like, I just saw someone comment that. So yeah, I totally
Yeah.
agree with that.
Yeah. I'm trying to think. So another important thing, wear comfortable shoes because
Yes.
if You wear uncomfortable shoes by the end of the day on Friday. Actually, probably like 3 hours in on Friday because you're like standing on concrete for most of the day. Your feet are
Yeah.
going screaming. And that kind of ruins the experience too because then you're so focused on how bad your feet are hurting. But by the end of a couple hours, your feet are hurting so bad. And I mean, that's all you can focus on. It's not about like the panels that are going on or the photo op that you're getting ready to do. It's, oh my gosh, my feet hurt. I should have worn tennis shoes instead of wearing heels. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's definitely a big thing because you're standing all day and then there's so much walking, I feel like, if you're
There's
going to the
so much
square.
walking.
well,
Yeah.
and you don't see, like, typically you don't see your feet in the photo ops anyways.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
there's
that's
really no
true.
point in like
Wearing crazy shoes.
on. Yeah.
I feel
Yeah.
like you rather be comfortable than exactly your feet are not in the picture. So you could wear Uggs. Like I might even wear Uggs one
Or
day
like
just to be
little
comfortable.
Elena Gilbert and wear some Chuck Taylors because
Yeah,
I wear
literally.
Converse every time.
No, the Converse are really good.
I
yes.
think I've worn Converse every convention I've been to be honest. They're
I
just the
want
go-to.
to. Yeah.
Alright, what else you got for us?
Portable chargers because you are going to want to download your pictures as the day goes on. And you're going to want to take pictures like with people that you meet, or if there's some cute merch that you like, especially with it being so close to Christmas and there's Christmas shopping to be done. So many cute merchants are going to be there at the event with their little merch booths. So, I mean, you might want to take pictures, send it to friends, and be like, hey, what do you think about buying this for so and so? So you're going to want to make sure that you have portable chargers so that way your phone doesn't die midway through.
Yeah, that's also very true that you have to scan in your pictures. I
Yep.
forget that at Epic, you have to use your phone to pull them up. So, very important. You don't want your phone to be dead and then you can't see your picture because I like to see it as soon as I can. Like,
Oh, same.
the second it pulls up, I'm refreshing like every 5 seconds trying to see the picture because I'm
Well, and
excited.
it's so exciting seeing them because it's like, oh my gosh, that just happened. Like I just met this person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now here's my picture. And then also make sure that you have in mind like what you're planning to get autographed because
Mhm.
so like at Epic, you don't get like the free headshots to autograph. I know a lot of people have autograph boards or canvases or some type of like memorabilia from the show that they get autographed by everybody, but just make sure that you have a plan in place for what you're planning to get autographed. We do have headshots that are available for sale at our merch booth, but just make sure you know because you don't want to walk up to the autograph table and have nothing for them to sign. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
What would you say is like your favorite thing that you've ever gotten signed? Because me and Grace were talking about it earlier. I
Yeah.
love getting like tote bags signed. What's your favorite thing?
so I actually have, and I'm so excited about this. A couple years ago, well, God, it's been more than that. I think it's been like 5 years ago now, 5 or 6 years ago. I acquired a deck of cards that was given to all cast and crew for the One Chicago shows. And so I've been getting those signed little by little over the years. And it's just so neat because like when one of the actors I had him sign it, he's like, "Where did you get this?" And I told him I got it from a charity auction. And he was like, "Oh my God." He's like, "I didn't know that anybody got rid of these." And I'm like, "Well, somebody did." Um
That's so funny.
So, I mean, that's been really cool. I also have
Yeah.
from One Tree Hill, I have a season like they did gifts for all the cast and crew as well. Like most shows do that. And I have a ball cap from every single season of One Tree Hill and then like their special
That's
episodes and
crazy.
stuff like that. And so their
That's
season
awesome.
I have signed by like the core 5 cast, which is really cool.
That
So
is so cool.
That's insane.
yeah, I
Yeah.
love
No,
that.
yeah.
I still like that's the best part about doing conventions. I am a fangirl.
Yes. Fangirls for life.
Oh yeah. But
Yeah, I love when there's something that like brings like a reaction out of the actor like for like my little tiny cardboard cutouts that always makes people laugh and I just love seeing how people react to it.
yeah.
Oh yeah,
So,
there's so many cool things you could get signed. I was also saying like how you guys do the physical tickets. I have seen so many people get those signed, especially with I feel like the tickets this year a lot of people are going to get them signed.
Oh
So
my God.
that's
I don't
always a
yeah.
good way to remember it.
mind. Like they're so good. And Sadie, she does one of our merch booths, Copper Yeti Creations. And so she does like
Mhm.
scrapbooks and stuff like that there. And those tickets would be so perfect to get signed and put in one of her scrapbooks.
Yeah.
Like,
I think didn't I mention that yesterday? I was like, "Oh, the tickets would be so cute to put in a scrapbook." I
Yeah,
feel like I
we
said
were
that.
saying that,
So,
like, putting them all in a scrapbook, like, collecting them and then making a big book of, like, any convention tickets. It's so cute.
yeah.
no,
But
I'm
yeah,
like,
scrapbooks are such a cute idea for conventions.
they are. And I think my final tip would be we have so many amazing volunteers. Like, they truly make our event. If you have anything on the schedule that overlaps, because photo ops and autographs are going to be going on at the same time all day, go see a volunteer. Say, hey, I have my photo with Michael Trevino going on and my autograph with Paul Wesley going on right now. Where do I need to go? And they'll be able to take you to the right line so that way you don't miss meeting either of the guys, or if you have multiple things going on at the same time, so that way you get in the right line at the right time. So definitely utilize them. That's what they're there for. They love working our events and they are so knowledgeable and so kind. We want everybody to make it to each thing that they buy. So don't be afraid to ask. Nobody will get mad.
Yeah. Yeah, I think don't be afraid to ask anyone for help is a great tip because that's what they're
Yeah.
there for, like you said. So,
Yeah,
Well,
and
we
they're all so nice.
And we have so many volunteers. Like, we majorly overstaff on volunteers. And I think that's a great problem to have because they all are so excited to be there, and readily available. If there's multiple people that need help at the same time, there's always somebody that you can find to go ask.
with like you said, you're a fangirl at the end of the day. What exactly made you want to start Epic Cons?
So definitely, like, we had all attended the One Tree Hill conventions in Wilmington that Friends with Benefit charity events hosts. And we were like, why doesn't somebody do this in Covington? Because Covington is such a cute town. And we're like, we need to do this. And it
Yes.
was Anna and I, it was so funny. So my husband and then my two of my other kids, they both had COVID. Like, they all had COVID. Corinne and I were the last two standing. And so we were staying downstairs and we had them all upstairs, like, quarantined. And this was like 2020, like mid 2020. And we were like, or maybe it was 2021. I don't know. But Anna and I were talking and we were like, we should start our own convention company. And it was like,
Yes.
it was like on a Monday or Tuesday night. And so we were crazy enough that we literally got on that night and made an entity and we're like, we're going to do this. And so then we texted the other girls and we're like, guess what we just did? And they were like, oh my God. And it's like, you're coming along for the ride. So
I love that so
it
much.
was like the best impulse decision I think that I've ever made. And
I would say
For
so.
sure.
for it. Like, it was the craziest thing. But, like, I mean, we had initially planned on it just being like a one-time thing. And then we fell in love with, like, the process. And even though, I mean, I like kill myself daily trying to make sure that, like, things are great and things are perfect. And luckily, like, the girls on the team, they all do so much, like, to make this possible. I know, like, I couldn't do it by myself. Anna and I couldn't do it, just the two of us. Like, it's truly a team effort on everything. But we just, yeah, we're living the dream now. But I mean,
That's
it's
amazing.
so much work, and I don't think people see that. But
Yes.
yeah,
That
Well,
is so great that it was just like an impulse decision. And now look at it now. Like, it's huge.
I know.
yes.
I'm like, we sit there and look at it. We're about to hit 50,000 followers on Instagram and TikTok. And we're like, this is insane. Like,
That's crazy.
we're
Yeah.
so grateful.
I am also very grateful that you
Yeah, I'm
guys
so
did what you
grateful.
did because it turned out amazing and doing it in Covington, like the experience at Epic, like those experiences are just like one of a kind and they're truly so amazing. So thank you and the rest of the Epic team for
Yes,
everything that you
thank you
guys
so
do.
much.
Yeah, it's
It's
truly a
amazing.
dream, an absolute dream. Some days it's a nightmare, but 99% of the times it's a dream.
It's
So,
part of the
Yes.
process, you
I mean,
know?
we get to meet Nina Dobrev in 10 days. Like,
Oh my gosh.
what?
Yeah,
That is crazy.
extra congratulations on that one because like I am still shocked. Like I cannot fathom that I'm going to be meeting her.
No, and it's like that's what another thing that, like, and here I go going on a tangent, but that we want to do this because you look at most other conventions and it is so focused on the male actors. And it's like with us, we're like, no, let's celebrate the women. Like, I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah.
Kayla Ewell, Ariel, Kebble, Karina, it's like, come to every con. Riley Vocal, come to every
Yes.
con. Like, so she did a video for one of our future cons. I'm not going to say which one. And we got it yesterday, and it was so perfect because she was just like, and I love you more than the guys. And we're like, well, we love you more than the guys. Like,
Yes.
we love the girls so much. And so that's amazing that like we're all women on our team. And so we get to sit there and really celebrate like the female cast and
Yes.
That's amazing.
make them like so center focused for all of our
Yeah.
conventions.
I love it. I just love that so much. Like, girl power forever. That's all
Yes,
I gotta
Girl
say.
power.
And we get to announce a big female cast member for the March convention here really soon too. So, and I think
Don't do that to me.
she signed her contract today, and we were like, ah, like everybody was freaking out, and I'm like, oh my god, like we just need a headshot now. This is so great. So, and
I
it's
have like a person in my head, but okay, I'm gonna keep that to myself. Okay. Now I'm super excited.
so, yeah, and I don't know like many people that have met this person, but so that's what's so fun because we're like just gonna invite all the ladies. So
Yes, I love it.
Well, I think that pretty much wraps up today's episode. Thank you, Alexis, for joining
Yes,
us
thank
and
you for coming on.
sharing all your tips and tricks.
yeah.
Real quickly, if you guys don't follow Not Your Average Fangirl on socials, on Instagram and TikTok, it's notyouravagefangirl.pod. And Alexis, if you want to say all the epic social media tags so people can go check it out.
Yep. So Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter, it's at Epic Cons, EPICCONS. And then Facebook is Epic Events and Entertainment. And it's our little vampire lips logo.
So go check it out. And my personal TikTok is addison.brianne, and my personal Instagram is addi.asks and Grace.
And then mine is Live Love Ian Somerhalder on both platforms.
We hope you guys enjoyed today's episode, and we'll see you guys next week. Bye.